True. Thank you so much.
Rob, it's so great having you here. Welcome to Ybor City.
Yeah.
Welcome to Tampa here on the PCA trade show floor.
You guys brought it here in basically a cardboard erector set.
That's right. This is 2,000 pieces of recycled cardboard that is a quarter-scale replica of our iconic 113-year-old El Reloj Cigar Factory in Tampa.
That's amazing. And on top of it, I saw Half Wheel did a little article on this little Lego set, 201 pieces.
That's right.
Replica of the factory.
That's right. You know, we love our building. We love its history and love the fact that it's in Cigar City. And we still roll cigars there today. And so we thought we needed to have a Lego set to go with it.
How did you get hooked up with doing a Lego set?
Well, we've been working with the same designer, Cowan Bond Design, for a number of years now. They've helped us restore the factory and to its historic character from 100 years ago. And actually, the mom of our designer, Sherry Kalita, had this idea. She's saying, we've done all this work telling the story of El Reloj. Let's make a Lego set to go with it. And, you know, Lego's done Lego sets of the Eiffel Tower, of the White House. Right. Why can't we do a Lego set of the last operating cigar factory in the United States? And so 201 pieces later, here we go.
Did you have to go to like Lego headquarters, or is this like something online where you can just plug everything in?
So in Illinois, there's a company that uses authentic Lego pieces and creates sets like this for Netflix and Penske and other companies. And they're like, sure, we'll make a Lego set for you. And here it is. And so it's
amazing.
It's great. And it looks just like our factory. In fact, on the inside, you can see in the basement are bales of tobacco, and that's our clock mechanism that we have on the first floor, just like you see when you come to Tampa.
Right. And in the hand-rolled documentary that was aired here at the beginning of the show, the storytelling behind that, the history, the whole nine, it's like second to none. I mean, you guys always preach that you are steeped in history. But what I thought was interesting in that video is you said, we never took full advantage of our store. We always took a back seat.
Right. That's what happened. Well, our company was founded in 1895 by my great-grandfather.
Right.
And as it grew up in the era of conglomerates like Procter and Gamble and General Motors and General Mills, these massive companies that were brand first and company second. And that's how the way the cigar industry was in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. Companies like Consolidated Cigar, General Cigar, that were brand first, and the people behind it were always kind of behind the scenes.
Right.
What we realized was, by being structured in that way, we were hiding the story of our family's 4 generations, 128 years, and this headquarters of a beautiful cigar factory that's a national landmark. And so we wanted to start telling the story and restoring the factory. And, you know, Rob, 4 years ago, if you came into the factory, you walk up the front steps and knocked on the door, you wouldn't get beyond the reception desk. Right. We restored it and opened it to the public. And last year we had 10,000 visitors who came into El Reloj for factory tours, to see our cigar museum, to have events, cigar rolling classes. And this year we're on track for 15,000 visitors.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So how does that play back to retailers? Because right now I'm hearing things like brand recognition, the experience.
Right.
The whole understanding of the history, and then to be able to take a person who's gone through the factory and then put them back into the cigar lounge. Are you getting feedback from retailers that is actually playing like huge roles in how people are smoking J.C. Newman cigars and even Fuente cigars?
It is. It's helping us tell the factory and its restoration has done wonders to tell our story. But I would answer your question in 2 parts. The first is retailers from all around the world are coming to Tampa to visit El Reloj, and they're sending their customers. And so we'll have a PCA member call us up and saying, I've got some really passionate customers. They're going to be in Tampa for baseball spring training or for a conference or go to the beach, or the kids are going to Disney World and the dad wants to come to the factory. Will you take care of them? And it's our privilege to welcome these guests around the world and introduce them to the tradition of American cigar making. And they come visit with us, spend a day with us, and they go back to their PCA member stores, and it just helps enrich their experience as a cigar enthusiast.
Right.
But the other thing I would say too is, of the 10,000 visitors we had last year, half of them are regular cigar smokers. They're the people who go to PCA members every day or every week, and they love cigars.
Right.
The other half of our visitors, and this is a big surprise to me, Rob, don't like cigars. Half of our visitors
That's
come to visit El
amazing.
Reloj, don't smoke cigars, don't know much about cigars, but they like history. They like old buildings. So they come to us, and we get to be ambassadors for the cigar industry and introduce them to this wonderful world, this tradition, this handcraft. And so by doing so, even if they leave El Reloj and never light up a cigar themselves, hopefully they'll have an appreciation
Right.
for the art, the tradition, the craft, and realize that cigars aren't some stinky thing that your grandfather smoked.
Right.
It's a real special handcrafted product and a tradition that dates back hundreds of years.
So now you're building supporters of the cigar community who are not even in the cigar community. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So when we need to go fight legislation or we need votes, those people are going to be educated enough to say, yeah, no, this is something that we should preserve.
Exactly. And Tampa is such an ideal spot for this because Tampa didn't exist before the cigar industry. When Vicente Martinez Ybor brought the cigar industry to Tampa in 1886, Tampa was just 600 people. And so everything that built Tampa up in the past 100 years was because of the cigar industry. And as the last factory is still operating in Tampa, in the Ybor City Historic Cigar District, we also get to tell the story of our community and of the generations past that built Tampa. And so because of that, we're in a fortunate position that the city loves us, the county loves us. Our local historic officials love us too because we're keeping the tradition that built Tampa alive.
Right. And I'm sure because, I mean, I've talked to you and your dad about the struggles and trials and tribulations that you guys went through, even
Yeah.
buying out the other family members.
Yeah.
Now that you are actually able to invest back into rebuilding the factory, re-cleaning it up, that financial freedom to do that, how did that come? Was that alone? Did you guys do it on your own? Was it from all the support from the consumers smoking the cigars? Like, how was that achievable
Are you talking about
financially?
the restoration of the factory?
Yes.
We've essentially poured all of our profits from the company back into the factory in the last 3 years.
So you're reinvesting back into El Reloj.
Absolutely. El Reloj is a 113-year-old building. It's seen a lot of love, a lot of cigars, and as a company, as a 100-year-old company, we want to be in business another 128 years, and we want to be in El Reloj. And the only way to do that is we've reinvested in El Reloj, brought it back to life, restored it the way it was 100 years ago, so the building will stand and be a shining landmark for the cigar industry for the next 100 years. And so financially, we've just taken the profits from selling our Diamond Crown, our Brick House, our Pearl de Mar, our Quorum cigars, and reinvested it in the building as a down payment on hopefully the future of our company and the future of the cigar industry in Tampa.
That's amazing. What a unique experience to be able to take different retailers all across the nation and let them send customers to your factory to learn the history of what it takes to roll cigars stateside.
Exactly, and the experience is multifaceted. We offer guided tours of the factory every day. We've got a 3-level cigar museum. It's like a living history museum. We've also offered some classes. We offer cigar rolling classes. So, Rob, if you know any cigar lovers who are so passionate about cigars, they want to roll cigars on their own, but we'll teach them how to roll cigars, and they leave with actually this box right here, which has cigars that they've rolled in it with bands with their name on it. And so leave with that. And at the end of this month, we're starting a tobacco tasting class. We're taking 24 different varietals of tobacco, different wrappers, binders, fillers from 11 countries all around the world, putting them on display so people can touch them and smell them and see them. And then we've rolled Puritos, single leaf cigars from each of those 24 varietals, and we are leading visitors through a guided tasting experience. Because when you smoke a cigar today, like the American, you're smoking a blend of tobaccos.
Right.
But we want to peel back the leaf and help really passionate consumers experience the flavors, the aromas, the taste, and different tobacco varieties, and come up with their own blends too.
That's amazing. And it matters so much because as you start picking out those tobaccos, you want that sweetness, you want that earth, you want that pepper, you want that boldness.
Exactly.
And then when you bring it all together like the American, you get this great harmony of all those flavors coming together. But you do need to peel back the leaf
That's
and
right.
see what's inside to make that beautiful blend.
That's
Love
right.
that.
That's our goal, and it's a real privilege for us to be ambassadors of the cigar industry. You know, it's A lot of people can go to Esteli in Nicaragua or Danlí in Honduras or Santiago, the Dominican Republic, and see the great cigar traditions there. But it's a heck of a lot easier getting on a Southwest Airlines flight to Tampa. We're 15 minutes from the airport. You don't need a passport. Everything's in English, and we can show the centuries-old tradition of American cigar craftsmanship in our 113-year-old El Reloj Cigar Factory.
So do people just go online and set up times?
Yes, our website is jcnewman.com. We got a great visitors experience. But I should tell you too, Rob, we're not done either. So across the street, directly across the street from El Reloj, right here, we're building a park called Cigar Workers Park that we're dedicating to the hundreds of thousands of people who worked in Tampa's cigar industry over the past 137 years. And right here on our campus, we're restoring another 113-year-old building, which was built to be a hotel that serviced El Reloj, and we're turning it back into the way it was 100 years ago, with a small 15-room hotel on the second floor, a cafe, a cigar lounge on the first floor, so we can make our campus, make Ybor City a real destination for cigar tourism. And then lastly, we're starting to grow cigar tobacco. Many people who enjoy cigars and look at cigars and they see tobacco as brown, but it doesn't start out as brown. As you know, Rob, it starts out as beautiful, tall plants, luscious, thick green leaves, and we're just starting to plant cigar tobacco too, so that we can show cigar enthusiasts the entire path of cigar, from seed to seedling to plant to curing to fermentation to sorting, selection to rolling to aging to packing, all together here in Cigar City, USA, in Tampa, Florida.
When you said there's more, I was like,
more.
How can there be more? How can you keep doing more? This is amazing. Now the park, and now the hotel. I just love the fact, Drew, that you just keep going.
Well, Rob, it is a sincere privilege for me and for our family to be able to share the story of our company and the history of cigar making in Tampa. You know, all of us kind of just show up in this world. We don't get to choose where and when we're born and who we're born to. We just arrive, and I feel so fortunate and blessed to be in a family like this with a tradition, and I just want to continue it. You know, we roll cigars right here on the third floor of El Reloj by hand, just like my great-grandfather did 100 years ago. Wow. And our one and only goal as a company is to roll cigars by hand the same way 100 years from now. And if we do that, then we'll be successful.
I love it. Drew, thank you so much for the education.
Thank you, Robin. Look forward to seeing you in Tampa soon.
Absolutely. PCA 2023, thank you all.